Hello fellow YouTubers, it is Godzilla294 here coming at you with the figure comparison video, and it'll be on the Bandai Creations King Ghidorah, showing off the original mold and the newly remolded mold. The first figure being displayed is the original 2005 release. This figure was released in Bandai Creations' second wave of the Godzilla line, coming out with GMK Godzilla, Space Godzilla, and the Heisei Mecha Godzilla. And now, here in front of you, we have the newly released King Ghidorah. Newly as in, at the time of this recording, 4 years ago, 2014. He came out along with Godzilla 1954 and Godzilla 2014. This version was part of the 11th wave of the Bandai Creations Godzilla line, also being released in Japan under the Movie Monster Series EX line. Let's get started, shall we? You can already see some differences in height. First thing I want to point out is the horns on the original version are actually elongated and actually have a shape defined to them, while the newer version, they're just like doled out, shaven to not look harmless, which is not the point of King Ghidorah. As well as the teeth being different, the teeth being more defined on the original than the newer one, but one difference being that the middle head having teeth on the side on the newer version and the older version having maybe 1 or 2 teeth on each side. And I forgot to mention that on the newer version I did paint the horns and toes, and if you look in the middle head you can see that the middle horn is like, where is it at? And then on the older version it's like, oh, there's a horn, it's right there. So what the heck, Bandai, why did you shave that horn down? It was perfectly fine where it was at. One of the main differences being color schemes. While the original 2005 version displays a copper gold-like color, the newer one has a bright gold tint to it. The same color scheme going down through all the figures. But on the original version, 2 of the heads of my version anyways are really dark and one of them is light, so it's kind of a little off place, which I'll show later in the video. One of my favorite things about the original mold is that the wings are huge and are very well defined, while the newer version, the wings are more squished in, so to say, and you can just tell that the wingspan is bigger on the original version because the wings are attached on the sides instead of just on the back. And you can also see 3 rows of spikes going down him, while the newer one you just see 1 row of spines and the wings are attached on the back tail, giving him a little bit more shelf room, so to say. The tail of this version of the figure just go in a straight line. I don't know if you guys can tell, but the right wing is darker than the rest of the body. And then here is this photo showing the left head is the brightest out of the other 2. So now there's a picture of King Ghidorah with my ruler showing off his impressive 11-inch wingspan. While sadly the newer version loses 1 inch on both sides of the wings, coming at 9 inches wingspan. In my opinion, the ends of the tails, the newer version, look a little bit cartoony. Here is a look at the awkwardly shaped wing of the newer version compared to the older version. And I just gotta say, that's one thing I don't like about the new one, that the wing looks so weird. Like, it's awkwardly remolded on the bottom part. It just looks weird, in my opinion. It looks weird. On both versions of the figure, the wings can rotate, and on the original version, the wings rotate but 360, but they don't close up or anything. And he looks like an Emperor Ghidorah. But on the newer version, it actually rotates inward, more inward, but and creating more shelf space. But now this is how the original version was packaged, with his tail just straight out of the package, the wings coming out of the package. Which there were some reports at the time that the tail and wings tips were breaking because it wasn't protected properly. So that's why in the newer version, the end of the tails were remolded to be curved up, and the wings were molded to be more inward so they wouldn't break off during shipping and there's a slight remold under the foot where the stamp of legal stuff goes. Here's a size comparison with the NECA GMK Godzilla, not knowing which Ghidorah is better, the left or the right. Which one? Which one? Anyways, you can see the height differences between the original and the newer one with the GMK Godzilla. It's like, maybe like, I'd say half an inch difference, but I mean, either way, the original one's taller. But I think 2 NECA Godzillas could take down 2 GMK Ghidorahs. So, as well, here he is next to it's not the original version, it's the re-release of the Bandai Creations GMK Godzilla. And he scales off pretty well with both of them, in my opinion. I mean, Ghidorah was smaller in the film, so this works out perfectly fine. If you haven't noticed, yeah, you just gotta see the awkward expression on the middle heads. It's just like, one of them looks like a chihuahua and the other one just looks scared. As the title of the movie, Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, giant monsters all out attack, here is Mothra. Sadly, Bandai Creations hasn't released the GMK Mothra or GMK Paragon, and sadly, I do not own a GMK Paragon, but he's on my wish list. And speaking about the Japanese versions, here he is next to the Japanese version of King Ghidorah. And my gosh, I'm just being honest, this is a superior version of both of them. But in my opinion, the Bandai Creations has more play value, while the Bandai Japan has more the collector touch to it. But I mean, this Ghidorah is my favorite one. Honestly, this is my favorite Ghidorah out of all incarnations, be it Grand, Kaiser, Showa. Yeah, GMK Ghidorah is my favorite Ghidorah of all. And I'm just waiting for an SH Monster Arts figure to be... Out of this figure comparison, I think the original one's far more superior just due to the wingspan. But if you want to get any of these, get whatever deal you can find, because I mean, it's a pretty playable figure. Anyways, please like and subscribe. Thanks, guys!